Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, हमने इससे पहले जो टॉपिक हमने डिस्कस किया था वो था प्रोडक्ट ऑफ वेक्टर. Then there were two types of product of vector. One was scalar product or dot product, and other was vector or cross product. Then we have discussed the scalar product. Question is, what is a scalar product? In short, briefly, we are discussing when a two vector A and B are multiplied and the resultant which we got is a scalar quantity is called scalar product. Now you will say, how we can get a scalar? For example, work. Work is, the unit of work is called joule, and joule is a scalar quantity. But mathematically, work is the product of force multiplied by displacement. This is vector, but the resultant which we got is 30 joule. For example, आप एक काम मालूम करना चाहते हैं तो उसकी जवाब जो है 30, 21 वगैरह वगैरह जोल आता है. So इसका मतलब है 30 joule, let's say 30. This is a unit and this is a number. So a number with a unit is called magnitude, and only magnitude is called scalar. That is, we are saying scalar product that we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss characteristic of scalar product. Number one is scalar product is a commutative. Commutative property means if we multiplied A dot B is equal to AB cos of theta, and if we multiplied B dot A, this is equal to BA cos theta. Now when you put the value of these and these, it will give the same value. Let's say 20 joule is equal to 20 joule. It doesn't mean that it is AB or BA. And mathematics you have studied, this is commutative property with respect to addition, commutative property with respect to multiplication, etc., etc. So number one is scalar product is a commutative. Number two, orthogonal property. This is called orthogonality or orthogonal property. Orthogonal property means when a two vector are at right angle to each other, then we are saying a two vector are orthogonal and their output will be equal to 0. Why? A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. When a two vector A and B are orthogonal, are at right angle to each other, so means the angle is 90 and cos 90 is equal to 0. So A dot B is equal to 0. Number 3, parallelism property. When a two vector are parallel to each other, for example, I along I-axis, x-axis and axis, so unit vector I, along y, along jj. So we can say the two vector are parallel. A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. When a two vector are parallel, the angle between them will be 0. So A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. Cos 0 is equal to 1. So A dot B is equal to AB. It means it will give a maximum value. Number 4 is minimum values. Parallelism property, orthogonality. Now we are going to discuss minimum या opposite direction. If a two vector are opposite in direction, one is in this direction, other is this direction. So this is positive I, let's say, along x-axis if we are taking positive x-axis, and this is negative x-axis. So now you can write this one. It means the I and minus I having an angle of 180. So it is 180. So A dot B is equal to AB cos of theta. When a two vector are at opposite, so their angle will be 180, and cos 180 is equal to -1. So we can write that AB multiplied by -1 is equal to minus AB. For example, a work done in a friction, a work done against the friction is also called a negative work done. Another property that we are going to discuss is the unit product property. It means I dot I is equal to 1, j dot j, k dot k is equal to 1. The question is why it is equal to 1. Let's consider there are a two vector I and I, which is all along the same direction. Let's suppose there is a three dimension x, y and z. Now let's suppose if we say I dot I, so this means I dot I, when you remove the dot product we will put a cos, so I square cos theta. So I square is called the unit vector, and unit vector, a vector whose magnitude is equal to 1, so 1 square. And I means along x-axis, so there are two I and I, it means along x into x, so it will be equal to 1. It means they are parallel, so when they are parallel cos 0 is equal to 1, so we can say 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. Similarly j dot j is equal to 1, similarly k dot k is equal to 1. Number 5, let's suppose we are saying I dot j is equal to 0, j dot k is equal to 0, and k dot I is equal to 0. Why? Because let's say this is x, this is y, and this is z. This is, let's suppose, I, and this is j, because this is x and this is y. So I dot j, we are saying I dot j is equal to I j cos of theta. When you remove the dot we will put a cos theta. So I and j are the unit vector and their magnitude is equal to 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 into cos theta, and we know that I along x and j along y, so the angle is 90, so we can say cos 90, and cos 90 is equal to 0. So 0 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 0, this is equal to 0. Therefore I dot j, j dot k and k dot I is equal to 0. Now the question is in a vector in component form. How in component form? We are saying, let's suppose there is a vector a, which is called a is equal to ax, ay into az. For example, there is a room, let's say there is a room, I want to make a room is a 3 dimension and a vector is this one. So this one, or we can say in this direction there is a vector a. Now vector a, this is along x, x is ax, this is ay, and this is called az. So the vector a having a 3 component in 3 dimension. Similarly, there is another vector b, and we can say bx plus by plus bz. Now someone told you find the a dot b. Now you will say that how we can find a dot b. First you will put the value of a, ax put karo, यहाँ पे ay put karo and az put karo, डॉट दरमियान में लगा लें, इधर आप b की वैल्यू लगा लें, so bx by into bz. Now you have a simple mathematics. First of all, ax bx, and then first you will multiply a with all us 3, then b with all these 3, and z with all these 3, and then you will use the I dot I, j dot j, and you will give the answer. But there is a direct method, but before to discuss I want to give the direct, and then we will say explanatory, and then I will go on the direct method. Now let's see. A dot B is equal to, first of all, AX BX. So this is, you know that I and IJK, IJK, because along X, Y, Z, you have studied IJK, X, Y, Z. Now, AX BX. So we can write AX BX into I, because I into I square. I into I square. Similarly, plus AX BX. So AX into BY into I dot J. So I dot J. Similarly, AX BZ into I dot K. Similarly, B से मल्टीप्लाइड करें सबको तो हो जाएगा प्लस 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 AY BX, और ये हो जाएगा J डॉट I. क्यों? क्योंकि ये J है और ये डॉट दरमियान में ये I है. सिमिलरली प्लस ये हो जाएगा AY BY इंटू J डॉट J हो जाएगा, प्लस फिर हो जाएगा AY BZ इंटू J डॉट K हो जाएगा. सिमिलरली आप इसको जो है 3, और ये कितने कंपोनेंट हो जाएंगे, 1 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 3, 3 3 9 हो जाएंगे. अब ये आपके पास हो जाएंगे AZ BX इंटू K डॉट I. ये ज़रूर लिखना होगा. नाउ वी कैन राइट दिस प्लस AZ इंटू BY इंटू K डॉट J, and the last one AZ BZ into K dot K. Now gentlemen, look at this one. I dot I, you know that this is equal to I dot I is equal to 1, as we have studied in the I dot I is equal to 1. Look at this one. So I dot I, this one, and I dot J, I dot K, because the angle, when you remove the dot, it will be cos theta. I dot K is equal to I dot K is equal to IK cos theta, and I along I axis, and this is K, so the angle is 90, cos 90 is equal to 0. This component will 0. J dot I will be equal to 0. J dot J again along Y axis, so J dot J is equal to 1, it will remaining. And similarly J dot K 0 0 0, and this will be, so A dot B we will have, because I dot I 1, J dot J 1, K dot K 1, so the simple answer will be AX BX, AY BY into AZ BZ. So this is the answer. So if you have a 3 vector direct AX BX CX BAY, you don't move with the A with this one, A with this one, A with this one, directly multiplied X into X, Y into Y, Z into Z. Let for example A is equal to 2I plus 4J plus 2K, and B is equal to, let's say I want to put a negative as well. There is a negative, let's say I minus 5J plus 7K. What will be the answer if we multiplied A dot B? Dear students, look at this one. So 2 multiplied by 1, this is 2. I dot I 1 हो जाएगा, plus minus minus 5 4 20, J dot J, this will be equal to 1, and plus 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 2 7 14, K dot K 1. So you will say A dot B is equal to 2 into 14, 16 minus 20. So A dot B is equal to minus 4 unit. This is the answer of A dot B if you have multiplied direct. So better, this is all about the characteristic of vector. There is another property which is called distributive property, but not need to done because it's for high classes. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.